Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about some of the triggers that can actually bring on headaches for me. This is going to be both IIH headaches and migraines because it seems to be getting harder and harder to tell the difference these days. So before we get too far into the video, let's roll the intro. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ashley Stewart. So, 2018 was actually a pretty hard year for me, but it was also a pretty good year too. So, I completed my bachelor's degree in biochemistry, but at the same time, I was also diagnosed with a rare condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. Some of you may also know this by its older name called pseudotumor cerebri. So, if you're curious to learn more about what it's like to live with this rare condition, then I encourage you to watch on. Don't forget to subscribe, and I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. I've noticed a lot of different triggers in particular in the last little while because my symptoms come and go. So you always try and think back to think, is there something that I'm doing that could have brought on these symptoms so that I can avoid having this happen again? So I want to talk about a few things that I have noticed that definitely bring on headaches for me. I'm not going to be doing just 3 though. I'm going to be doing more than 3. I'm just not going to be quite as descriptive as I normally am. The first one that I want to talk about, this one is quite significant because it affects some of my ability to do certain workouts. It actually affects my ability to do some types of lifting and all that too. So the first one that I have noticed for me is actually bending over. So like I said, during the times I've talked about my exercise, I have to keep my head straight up. Because if I don't have my head straight up, I get really dizzy. If I bend over at the knees and I'm able to keep my head straight up, I'm good. This is how I do lifting and grab stuff off of the floor and stuff. But if I have to do this with my head and have my head go over top of my body, coming back, it's not the going down that bothers me. It's the coming back up again that seems to bother me. It's really strange, but I definitely notice it. This is one of the reasons why I don't last for very long. I get immediately dizzy when I try and do these activities. So, again, dizziness is usually a good sign that it's probably not a good idea. Number 2 for me is light. So certain bright lights, especially at night, can bother me. This depends, I think it's more of an aggravation of my symptoms because when I'm not having symptoms, it doesn't seem to bother me as much. But if I'm starting to get a headache, then bright lights definitely don't help. With the bright lights, it's probably more of a this is making it worse kind of thing. And the bright lights are specific to the migraines. I have had many, many headaches before where bright lights don't bother me. And I'm pretty sure that the bright lights issue is part of the migraines. So that's another way I can kind of tell that if it's for sure a migraine is bright lights. So the thing is though, your eyes hurt really, really bad with the IIH headaches. It's not really a bright light thing for me, but with the migraines, bright lights bother me. Loud noises can bring on and make symptoms worse. So I've never liked heavy bass music with large bass stereos because I don't like the vibration on the ground. Actually, I'm pretty sensitive to it. If someone's blasting a car stereo that has a really heavy bass, it even bothers me even if I'm nowhere close to it. So that's another interesting fact about me. And that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't really done or gone to many parties, besides the fact that I'm extremely introverted and don't really get pleasure out of that kind of activity. I love dancing and I don't mind nightclubs, but if it gets past a certain level of volume, it becomes no fun. A heavy bass can trigger my symptoms and can make an already bad headache worse. And not only that, but it makes me really grumpy because I actually don't like it to begin with, but now it really actually physically hurts. And to make people understand this is really, really difficult. If you have someone in your life with IIH, please be respectful of the fact that loud noises such as loud music can particularly make things worse. Some of us can tolerate it, but some of us can't. The best way to be dealing with these kind of things is to ask, because most of us know what is going to be a trigger, and I will try and be as nice as I can about it, but I'm gonna be forceful about it too because I don't want it to be too reserved or you're not gonna take it seriously. So there's a balance thing there when it comes to how to approach that. One really strange trigger, and actually this is something I want to talk about because it's a really strange thing. Rain. Storms and low pressure systems make my headaches worse. This is gonna sound so unscientific, and I still don't believe it half the time, but guaranteed my headache starts and within minutes it's raining. I still don't want to believe this because I'm just like, how can we possibly sense this? We've been on this planet now for how many hundreds of thousands or millions of years, and we've gotten used to the pressure. And like the pressure is something that nobody feels except for people with IIH, it seems like. I will actually ask people, is it raining? Because I'm having a sudden surge in symptoms when I haven't had any warning. As somebody who is seriously into science, this one is really weird. And I'm still hesitant to say it because I don't know. I just feel like I haven't had enough statistics on it yet to say, yes, this actually is something that's actually the case. But I've heard it from many other people with IIH. So I'm gonna go out there and put it out there and say, I think it might trigger symptoms. But I don't know how in the world you would study this. So I'm still hesitant to say that this is actually a trigger. It doesn't happen all the time. It seems to be that there has to be a certain amount of pressure drop before I notice it. Every time that you notice that it could be raining, maybe it brings on a headache and just happens to rain because those are the things that you paid attention to, so those are the things you notice. I don't know, this one bothers me because it's not very scientific. I love the smell of it, but my head doesn't like it. For me, I actually have adopted a very low salt diet, and one of the lifestyle modifications that I've made is to basically eat as little salt as possible. And it's amazing just how much salt you can take in without using salt. So, one of the things that I've started doing is cutting out as much salt as I can. And I've noticed that if I start taking in too much salt, that it can make my head worse. If there's anything that you guys would like to add, feel free to drop into the comments down below. As for now, that's it for today. Bye, everyone.